Do you think there's something wrong with gay men having sex so much with so many people all the time? Or is it just simply a function of reality?
The gay community doesn't have the sociosexuality gap, right? I mean,
No, because we don't have any women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that the problem, to my mind, with our current straight culture is it encourages women to imitate male sexuality, and they don't want to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, men don't want to imitate female sexuality either. But my feminist principle is that it's better to be sexually frustrated than to have unwanted sex.
Yes.
And if one group of people, you know, if that's the choice we're faced with, and I think we are, then I think it's better for straight men to be imitating female sexuality rather than the other way around. But that's not true for gay men, right? There's no gap to be bridged.
There's no gap either with lesbians, who have the opposite question, which is that
there's extraordinarily good proof for the existence of differences in male and female sexuality.
You would think it's the most extraordinary proof of non-cultural, entirely biological forces. The power of, obviously they're not 100%, but they're immensely more powerful than many people acknowledge, I think. And the biological difference is a huge challenge for humans. There are other species that don't have these conflicts, right? But humans have been made. It's not like women are only horny once a month, or there's like 3 months of the year in which the species reproduces, 9 months in which they're complete. It's not as if the human male only wants to ejaculate once a month or once a week. So we are talking about something really profoundly promiscuous about the human animal that is biologically strained, that can be channeled or changed. And you're basically arguing, very traditionally, that the Judeo-Christian ethic, one man, one woman, and the notion that sex itself is a kind. Now, this is what I didn't get from your book. The sex itself is a false siren. It's dragging you to places where, yes, the human being can go, but in which the human being is essentially a slave to the passions that is that underlying where you are too. Because you don't really have a philosophical background or structure for the book. You're not saying I'm a Catholic, I'm in favor of natural law, or I'm an evolutionary biologist, or I'm sort of trying to figure out what that might be. You don't have to have one. I'm just saying, but is there something about sex that just troubles you?
No, but I also think that sex as a means of strengthening intimate relationships is better than sex in isolation on a social level and also on an individual level. And I think that as society, I agree with you that sexual repression causes pain. I also recognise that all societies demand sexual repression of some kind, right? We do not permit all sorts of things that do not, really, even within the consent framework, don't quite make sense. We don't permit necrophilia, for instance. We don't permit bestiality. We don't permit public nudity in most circumstances. We have all sorts of legal limits, and paedophilia remains one of the still the great taboos, despite some efforts by some sexual revolutionaries like Foucault and so on to destigmatize paedophilia. It is very, very strongly held still. And even, proximate kind of examples of not even true pedophilia, but say adults dressing up as children or whatever is very stigmatized. We do ask repression, right, of people. The question is at what level you set it.